Blessings, everyone. I am so excited to have the time and the space and the energy to record a video today. So I'm Jovhannah, the Spiritual Love Healer. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about a little bit of everything. I love tarot. I use tarot for my own personal practices and purposes. I also do readings for others. I am now a licensed massage therapist, a tarot reader, an energy healer, and I'm just here doing things that I love, talking about things that I love. I have not recorded new videos over the past, I'll say this year, because one, I was in school, two, I needed to just take a pause. I really wasn't active on social media at all. So now I'm kind of finding my rhythm and my flow. And I think I came up with a nice schedule for videos. So I'm not going to share it now because it's not concrete and I don't want to say it and then it changes, but things are happening. It feels like a springtime for me where I am emerging and just wanting to do the things that I love. So yay, I'm here. Also, I've had a lot of time to figure out where on social media I want it to be, and I think I decided that I'll focus more on YouTube videos for now. So I'm here. But I backed the Sefirot, I hope I'm saying that correct, Tarot on Kickstarter sometime last year, and this deck arrived last Friday when I got notification that the board approved my license to be a massage therapist. So there was a lot of good news, good energy, and was just super excited to have received my deck. I want more of the, okay, whatever. So I remember when I've purchased a lot of decks on Kickstarter and had to pause because I was getting to a point of overwhelm. I had more decks than I could possibly use, and there were a handful that I was I could have did without this deck, and maybe I'll do a video sharing why, but I don't like to, I guess, bash someone's creation, because I know as a creative person, as an artist, that you're creating from a labor of love and everything isn't for everybody. So, but yeah, there were just a couple that I was yeah, I could have done without this deck. I thought that this was one of those decks because I bought it just to buy it. It was one of those things, but I thought it was pretty. I thought that there was a really nice, honestly, I don't remember why I bought it. It was so long ago. I kind of forgot about it, and I was oh man, I really want a new tarot deck, but I was I've been on a hiatus from purchasing because I have over 300 decks, and I think I have about 100 with me now, probably more because I've added, this one has arrived, but most of my collection has been in storage for, what, a year and a half, 2 years, maybe, a year and a half, not sure. So I was there's no point in me buying more decks when I have a lot of decks that I can't use, and whenever I move and get all of my things out of storage, I'll have my entire collection, so it'll be having a ton of brand new decks, and I'll get to reconnect with them in that way, and I think that will be more meaningful versus adding new things to the collection that I don't need. My collection feels pretty complete. There are a couple of decks that I really like, but I'm also not in a rush to buy anything. I saw the Black Joy Lenormand Oracle that launched on Kickstarter. I did back that, so hopefully that will be a successful campaign. Really what I want to add to my collection are more melanated decks, and so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I've been participating in deck studies, which is a really great opportunity where I work with one particular deck for an extended period of time. And I was introduced to this through Abundant Life Tarot, through her Facebook group and her YouTube channel. And so that's been really beautiful. So I've been working with the Herb Crafters deck, and oh my God, that deck is amazing. I don't think I did a video on that one, so maybe I'll do that later. So I am going to show you the Sefirot Tarot. I wish I knew how to pronounce it correctly. Sefirot Tarot. So it does come with this guidebook, and inside the guidebook there's a very small section that just gives you a general overview about tarot, and then it just goes into the card. So each card kind of has like a name or a theme at the top. So like the Fool is humanity unbound. It kind of describes the card and gives a little meaning to the Fool. And so it goes through all of the cards in the deck. This particular deck was, I guess, created to be like a board game and also a divination tool. So it came with a bookmark. I got some stickers. I have a ton of stickers from different like projects that I've backed, and usually I put them on. I have this giant spiritual notebook, my grimoire, book of shadows, soul book, goddess book, whatever you want to call it. I just stick them on there somewhere. So what else is in here? This, I guess, is like the board game, or I guess it would be like the tarot cloth that you could put the cards on. And it kind of shows this little person starting here, going on a journey. So that's really cool. I don't know a lot about this. I'll have to figure out what its purpose is for, as far as like the game. Let me see if it mentions that in our little guidebook. Not really. I do think this deck comes with oh yeah, it does come with a couple bonus cards. So let's get into it, shall we? So I will just show you each card. Okay, before I get started, so this is the back of the deck. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I love the colors. It's gilded. That to me is always like just a little added ooh and ah. There's a little bit of from where it was banded together. But yeah, so it is gilded edging. The card stock, let's see. It's a fairly good card stock. It's very flexible. It's not super thin, and it's also not super thick. So I feel like that's a good flexible card stock to shuffle. The cards kind of have it's not a, I guess, a semi-gloss, so it is glossy, but it's not as glossy as other cards. So it has a really nice, smooth finish. So this is the Fool card. I love that this deck is blue themed. Blue is one of my favorite colors. So you can see what I love about this is that the Fool is wearing this beautiful like vest, and it's flowing, and in there it's almost like carrying the dreams with him. And I love that the sun is kind of illuminated there around his crown, and you can see there is the gold. I like it. It's just shiny, so I get distracted sometimes. But yeah, so it's like going forward, carrying your dreams with you, walking through the threshold. There are a lot of sacred symbols there on the door. I forget what this symbol is called. There's also the Ankh there. Just a very beautiful card. I love it. It's very soft and sweet and flowy. It feels like air flowing. So that's the Fool. Next we have the Magician, and this looks like a Christmas ornament to me because of the orb, but on the table there you can see all the different tools, and the Magician is bringing down the energy to create what it is he's creating. On the table there's coins, there's dice, there's an aphame, there's a wand, there's a purse or a wallet. Very beautiful card. I like back here too, like you can see like there's a little bit of a cityscape, so I like that kind of brings in like a modern feel, because you know it does. Then we have the High Priestess. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Sorry, I had like a piece of fuzz or something. So I like this because you can see like the different, it almost gives like the maiden mother crone feel. And again, the blue and the gold is just a really beautiful, excuse me, play on the High Priestess card. And if you look, you can see that she's drawing energy in from around into her hands here, into her hands there. And it's like being able to channel that energy into herself. The Empress is gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. She is standing there, and I like that she's standing and she's very strong. You can see like the arrow, she has a sword, there's a bird there with her, she's very regal, there's an ankh there on her staff. This gives a different feel from like the traditional Empress card where she's kind of like sitting, almost more, this gives me more of like a warrior queen feel versus like the Empress kind of like on a princess energy. So I really do appreciate like the strength, I guess is what I'm saying, that comes through with the Empress card here. And then she has the stars above her crown also. The Emperor, I think that's a very beautiful card as well. You see the ram there for Aries. The Emperor is very strong. I love in the background of the card, it looks like he's like channeling all, like just pulling all of this energy to him, and it's around him. It's flowing out from the scroll that he has. And he's very wise. If you look at his face, you can see like the wisdom there. The Empress, like as well, like looking at her face, like she just, look at that. It's so beautiful. She's very present. She's very grounded, very sure of like who she is and what she deserves. And she's like just powerful. So powerful. And even there on the bottom, you can see that there are like little like warriors going up the cuff there. I love that card. I think that's definitely one of my favorites in this deck. And here we have the Hierophant, disseminating wisdom. Very, very gorgeous card. I love that. I like it also has like the element of, you can see the people there below by his hem. There's also the city. You can see the city that's on his robe there. I think that's beautiful. I definitely want to study this deck. I know that these are Hebrew symbols and I just don't know what the letters mean. I love the keys of knowledge there that he's wearing. It's a beautiful card. So this deck did come with a few different lovers cards. So you have lovers in this depiction, lovers in this depiction, and lovers in this depiction. So they show all kinds of love in this deck. And I think it's beautiful because with this, you can program the cards to, so you can have a lover's card that represents like, you know, like the alignment, you know, choice, choosing, because that's what, you know, typically the lovers represents. You can also have one that, you know, represents love as we know it. You can, well, that's what I plan on doing with this deck, is like programming an intention for each of the lovers card, because I am going to keep them all in the deck. So I like they did the inclusivity there with the lovers card, showing a variety of different types of people, different types of love. This Chariot card is like packed full of energy and action, and like the horses are just like about to get it. So I love this. It feels so powerful without it feeling forceful. And then here we have the Strength card, which feels very flowy and feminine. She is just radiant, and the lion is there just like wrapped around her. My friend and I were talking about the Strength card last night, and how, you know, it's about like taming your fears. It's about, you know, facing your shadow and, you know, taming the wild beast within, right? And so like seeing this here, I love that the lion still has that fierceness. It's almost like she knows, and you can see like she has the battle scratches there on her arms, from going to war with herself, or whatever demons or obstacles that she had to face, and she was able to overcome them. And it's just beautiful because it's like, yes, the lion is tame, but can and will be released if necessary. So I love that. And then we have the Hermit card. I love, so you see on like his cape too, he's bringing like this with him, and I love the gold. The cards are beautiful. They're beautiful. I love the blue tones and the gold. It's so beautiful. Like, let me not change anything. But yeah, I like how he has his head down, like he's walking through like a heavy wind or snowstorm or something like that. Oftentimes it looks easy, and he's like shielding the lantern. He's protecting the lantern as he's moving forward. And I think when we think about the Hermit card, it seems like it's peaceful, but oftentimes it's not always peaceful to like be in hermit mode or to be forced into hermit mode, which is usually when something happens and you're like, okay, I need to step away and figure out like what's going on and reconnect and all of these things. And so like I like that it shows him, and he's actually moving, yeah, moving forward from this darkness. Let's see, like coming out of the dark night of the soul, and he is protecting the wisdom that he has knowledged and gained. And this is a yod, and I keep like illumination. I believe that's what that represents. And then there are the lotuses that are there, which I love. Lotus flowers are so sacred. They're a very sacred symbol, but for me as like a personal totem, when I learned the story of the lotus, like how the lotus grows starting at the bottom of a dark, murky pond, and they come up through the mud, they come up through the depths of the darkness and they go towards the light. And that's something that like really sat with me because of all the things that I have been through and always facing the light. And so that, like seeing that on that card, that really touched my spirit in a deep way. So I think that's very beautiful to have that there. And like if you look at his face is worn, like he's tired. But it's like he's gotten through all of these obstacles. He's overcome the mountain. He's gotten through it, and he is protecting everything that he's learned on that journey. And I'm here for that. I want to talk more about that too. I like that these cards are opening up different pathways. Now this Wheel of Fortune card, absolutely stunning. I love it. I love it. I love it. You can see, look at that gold. It's almost like the three wise ones. And then you've got the moon, you've got the sun, and here you've got the different phases of the moon and the sun in concert working together. I think one of the things too is like, so we have the moon, which is typically seen as the feminine energy, goddess energy, while the sun is the masculine energy. And like when we talk about the moon, we forget like what we're seeing is that partnership of the moon and the sun, the action and the intuition, the flow, the femininity combined with the masculine. So I really appreciate the dance that they are doing here. And you can kind of see like the different seasons and cycles of them working together. I love this so much. And then we have, Lady Justice. It's almost like she's wearing a breastplate to protect her heart. And I love how this head is like towering over her, because it's like fact, basing things on fact, even though you care so deeply and maybe you want to like, what's the word? Like show, some compassion, some empathy. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I really love that, she's standing there with this like higher knowledge, the knowing, and just really, this is a very powerful card to me. I don't know why I feel like that's a breastplate that she's wearing. I could totally be wrong, but it feels like she's wearing armor to protect her, even on her arms, where she's holding her sword and the book that she has there with her. So it's like, yes, I care, but I can't use my heart in this matter because the facts are the facts. And then we have the Hanged Man, which is kind of a different depiction here. So those almost look like hands coming down, things like grabbing him up. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it there. Let me see. Yeah, there's like blood almost coming out of his hand from where he's gripping so hard. And what's interesting about this card is that if he let go, he would just be suspended there. It's almost like, you know, spirit's trying to hold you, but you're hanging on to something that's hurting you, something that you need to let go of, and it's causing you pain, and you don't understand why it's hurting you, and it's because you won't let it go. It's almost like being afraid to move on, being afraid to be still, like I can't be in this place, let me go, I've got things I need to do, I don't want to sit here, I don't want to think about this. And if you notice, like in most hermit cards, they have, not hermit, hangman cards, there's like a halo of illumination. This card speaks to something different. This is you fighting the sacred pause. This is you not wanting to gain the enlightenment. This is you fighting to get away instead of resting there and allowing what needs to happen or what needs to come to come. I've had a deep relationship with the body, with the bones lately, so I really love that there's just this skeleton, and there's the, what's it called, the Sith there, and it's like just looking down on us at all times. And so I peeked at some of the cards, not all of them. I did go through the major arcana, but what I like about this, right, is that death is always there, and this gives me that feeling. It's not something like that just happens. It's not, you know, they say, like the saying, change is constant, right? Because death represents transformation, endings, beginnings. And so it's like, it's there. It's always there. And I love that there's a lot of death doula work now where, you know, we are acknowledging death and putting rituals back into that process. And one of the things that I want to do in my work through my business, the Spiritual Love Sanctuary, is to put ritual back into motherhood, childbirth, child loss, all of those things. I have a lot of stuff that I like want to work on and am working on. But yeah, so death is there looming and hovering, and there's, you can see like there's a child running here. There's an elderly person. There's like, everybody's just going on with their life, and you never know at what moment that scythe is going to swing, and like all of this can just be gone and be scooped up in a matter of moments. So I really liked this. It like just, I don't have the words for it, but it really like just, yeah, I don't have the words for it. But it really shifted like the way that I view and like respect and think about like what this card means, what physical death is about, what spiritual death and just transformation and endings and beginnings are all about. Because once this is wiped away, something new can come in its place, right? Something new could come in its place. So. And then we have beautiful, beautiful Temperance. This card feels just so beautiful. Look at all the flow and the softness and the connection. Like you can't tell where she begins and the water and earth begin or end. It's just a card that really speaks to oneness to me. It's beautiful. And also, like, think about, like, right, because right after the big transformation, it comes Temperance. Like the way that these balance each other out so much, and you can see, like, the curves just continued on, so they're connected, like, they're not disconnected. Like, it's, like, just, I really love this deck. I thought I was going to be disappointed with it, but I am blown away by this deck. I can't wait to start doing readings with it. So here we have the Devil. I like that the tongue is a sword. There's just a lot happening in this card. Playing at the devil's feet. You've got these animal-headed beings and people. Like there's a lot happening in this card. Like even his knees are like the face of like a tiger or lion or something. And then you can see, right, there are people down there. So these are people. It looks almost like a fence, but those are people. And these look like, I mean, if you want to call them demons, they could be demons. So the things that are stealing your time, your attention, your energy, these could be habits, it could be social media, it could be obsessions or addictions. And you see, like, he has the gate, and the gate is open, and it's like they're just walking through it. So they're not chained there. The gate's open. They could come and go as they please, but they're so captivated by whatever it is that has their attention. And it's almost like the energy that you see swirling around is like being sucked out of the people and going up into him. So notice, like, none of the people have color in them. And it's like this one here is starting to gain color. So it's like they're feeding off of these people's spirits. And then we have, I wasn't happy about that. I'm just like, I love this deck so much. Then we have the Tower card. The Tower is the Tower. Nothing to write home about. However, I do like that this card shows like almost like a city. And I don't see necessarily lightning bolts, but it looks like a storm or a flood. Like there's just a lot happening in this card, like just water, the power of water. Water is so powerful. Like one drop of water can like save life. A whole deluge of water can take life. And like, as you see, like knock over this tower. So a very beautiful card. I'm trying to figure out what this is. I guess that's a piece of the tower, another building, but there are other buildings in the background, so you can just see. And what I like about this, because when something huge comes in and happens to you, it also affects the people around you, right? So I'm a single mom, so if something happens in my life, it's going to affect my mindset, my mood, my energy, which will probably affect my children's energy as well. So it's like it just speaks to the oneness and to the connection of all that is, and that's a theme that I've been like picking up on in this deck. I love it. So here we have the Star card. Again, I love how the clothing that they wear is carrying something with them. So within her beautiful shawl, her head wrap, you can see the night sky, and there is the star illuminated, and you can't tell where she begins and the earth and water begins or ends. It's all part of one. And I like too that, so if she had this covering over, this would be over her heart. And I've started to think of the star more as the north node, like your north star, what is guiding you in this lifetime. That is the thing that, you know, that I strive to work towards. So that's just a personal association that I have made with this card. So anytime I see it, I think about my north star. What is that? And that is what I cling to. That's what I look towards for guidance. When I need to make a decision, or when I'm feeling stuck or lost, I look to that star, and that is what gives me hope. And I love that, like, if she were to cover that, it would be right there and covering over her heart space. And you can see the water flowing there. There's just so much beautiful energy. And it's almost like the water is like healing her and like powering her up as she's gaining, reconnecting with her purpose with the star. And then there are some birds there. I want to say, okay, that's a mirror image there in the water. I was trying to figure out if those were dolphins, but I think it's a mirror image of the birds that and the moon there. And speaking of moon, next we have the moon. And I'm wondering, like, what is this in the moon? I wonder, does the guidebook talk about that? The moon. So it doesn't really, let's see. The moon is the revelation of true nature. But it doesn't really talk, oh, I'm tripping. So I looked at the bottom and realized, like, that's the crescent moon, and that's the eye, the nose, the mouth. That's what that is. I did not see that at first. Talk about illusions, right? So the moon reveals the true nature of things. You can see like the little spirits in the back. They still have the crustacean there. You've got some like tears or rain that's coming down. I was like, what is that? I see it so clearly now, but when I first saw it, I did not, my eyes did not put that together. But that is the moon card. It's very beautiful. The moon is illuminating a city. There's like rain that's pouring down. You can see the, is that a dragon? That is a, no, those are two dogs. One of them looks very much like a dragon though. And I like to, again, like there's a reflection of the city there in the water, and then there's a little more light down here, which I feel is very reminiscent of like the energy of the sun reflecting off of the moon. So that's the moon card. And then we have the sun, which, look, if you put these together, it is exactly what I said, the sun reflecting off of the moon. How amazing is this deck, y'all? I like that it's somewhat borderless. There's no like white edges, so I do like that. But there's the sun, you can see the birds, and look at the sunflowers. Hold on, let me see. Look at it, it's so pretty. Are those sunflowers? Yeah, I'm gonna call them sunflowers. And then the sun also has a face. I see it. So there's the sun card, very beautiful. You can see like some ridges and mountains in the back. It's just a very happy energy. It's very much the sun, and then the sunflowers, you know that they grow towards the sun. So I love that. That's amazing. Next is the gate, aka judgment. I love this depiction of the judgment card, or the gate. And what I love about it is it's very clear like what this card means. Judgment was one of the cards that was always like hard for me to grasp, especially when I was first learning tarot. But I love it. And at the bottom you can see like there's the reflection of somewhat of like the shadow self, and then you can see the pillars there with the figures, and I just think that's a very beautiful, beautiful card. And then there is the world, which is gorgeous. I love it. Again, the connection, just being larger than life. You've got the sun, the moon, lots of stars. And then if you look on the side, you can see like these angelic beings there. And I think it's just a very beautiful, beautiful card. And so there are two additional cards in this deck. There is the tree, and there is the abyss. So I'm gonna look and share what these cards are about. When I look at the tree, it makes me think of ancestors. So the abyss is the call of the void, and the tree is the stubbornness of life. So it says, with the abyss, we often fear that which is unknown, unseen, or untouchable. And, oh, cool, so I can do that. Okay, cool. Whenever we gaze down into darkness, whether in an ancient ruin, a cave, or underwater, we often experience a strong sense of fear, but sometimes a dash of curiosity. While many eschew the darkness, some can't resist the call of the void. They are pulled in as if hypnotized to go deeper to the roots, to the bones of the earth. Since we first dreamed and spoke, we have wondered what lies below. The abyss holds dread for us, but also fascination. It's the call of the unknown, the unexplored, something beyond our comfort zone that we nonetheless long to reach for. Here in the abyss, we face fear itself, but also the totality of our imaginings. I love this card. Okay, and so then we had the tree. A creature as old as time itself, the tree was ancient before we or our species were even born. In its stillness, it carries an undisputed gravity and authority. It braves the elements, punches its roots in the hardest stone, splits the earth itself to burrow down, It is the stubbornness of life manifested. As long as we do not disturb it here, it will remain. Oh my God, I love that. I'm not even going to start that conversation, but I love it. If we treat it with respect, it might share its fruits or precious sap with us. Year after year, generation after generation, the tree's gift might hold ancient secrets, be a remedy for earthly or spiritual ills, or simply feed us. The tree can provide if only we can accept its splendor and leave it be. So that does resonate with what I was thinking when I said it makes me think of the ancestors in some ways. So that was the major arcana of the Sefirot Tarot. Beautiful cards. And I'll briefly share with you the rest of the deck. It is a pip style deck, which those aren't always my favorite, but I think that they read very beautifully because the messages are really clear. So let's go through. I'm trying to make sure the cards are separated. So here we have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups. I love that they're feeding each other. The Three of Cups, and then that continues. The Four of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Eight, the Nine, there's the Ten of Cups, there is the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King of Cups. I think if I had to choose a suit, the Pentacles is my favorite, and it's because they have such deep blues on the card. So there is the Ace of Pentacles, the Two, the Three, the Four, the Five, the Six, the Seven, the Eight, the Nine, the 10, then we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. I love the Bull. And then let's see, these are the swords. So I like that the swords are all gold. I do love the light color blue here too. Oops, so there's Ace. There's the Two. There is the Three. There's the Four. The Five. These are kind of sticking. The Six. Got the Seven. Ooh, I love that. The Eight. I like the shapes that they're making with the swords. The Nine of Swords. The 10. And we've got the Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. And then we have the Wands. So there's the Ace, the Two, the Three. These are more like plants. I like the growth that this shows. There's the Four, It's like they're all like growing together into this one thing, and then it's rising up. And then there's the 5, the 6, the 7, there's the 8, the 9, the 10. I've got the Page, the Knight, the Queen. Look at those cats by her. Oh my God, I love it. And the King with the lion there with him. So my friends, that is the Sefirot Tarot. Beautiful, beautiful deck. I have many more to share and show at some point, but I do like this deck a lot. It's a beautiful deck. The majors are amazing. It is like a Pip style, Marseille style deck, which those aren't typically my favorite, but I do especially love these cards. And usually when I tend to read with these decks, like the messages are like super clear because they just are for me that way for whatever reason. I also like to use them for like clarifying other decks or readings, but I love the majors on this and can't wait to read with it. So that is it for now. A little bit of tarot talk for the day. My goal is to start doing more readings more consistently, or not readings, videos, and some readings thrown in there. Hello, my beautiful friend. Thank you for jumping on live. Thank you, darling. So yeah, so I was hoping, like the schedule that I've worked out in my head is that I'll be able to talk about a little bit of everything, but on different days. I'm not saying that I will do a video every day of the week, but Saturdays, since they're like my relaxed chill day, those will be more for like tarot videos, just random stuff. And then Sundays, I'll probably do like more about like spiritual guidance or just whatever, whether it's a reading or just something that I want to talk about. Mondays will be for Momspiration. I've missed doing those so much, so I'm going to bring those back. And then I forgot what I said Tuesdays was. It's in my phone and I'm using that, so I can't look right now and see. But yeah, so I've got a little bit of something. I think Tuesdays was the show. Like I would do, record a new episode of the Abundantly Ever After show. Right now it's just audio, so I might post the audio here. Eventually I want to like develop the show into an actual like talk show format, so that's coming at some point in the future. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and say hello and share a deck because I have not been here in a while, but yeah, you will see me more now that school is done and I have a little bit more free time. I still need to create a little bit more space in my schedule because I have a lot of projects that I was working on. One was my 2023 planner, and I couldn't figure out why I could not complete the planner. And then I figured out why. It's like so initially it started as the Single Mom Spiritual Journal, and I'm being called to create that and then have a planner. So it'll be two things instead of one thing with two components. So I'm like, I don't know when and if I'm going to have time. So I don't know if I'm going to do that this year because 2023 is like right here. But if I get the opportunity to complete it, then I will. But if not, then it'll be a project that I work on for 2024. What else? I feel like there's so much to share. I started back working on my book, Healing Single Mothers, and wrote a lot. I started doing it for NaNoWriMo, and then I started working, and my writing schedule has changed. So like usually when I get home, I'm tired. I'm also like trying to save my hands for work. So I'm probably gonna voice record the rest of the book and then have it transcribed. But it's almost ready for editing. There are just 2 chapters that I need to finish writing, and then there's some parts that I want to add about my story and just add in more. So yeah, it's almost done, and then I guess just editing and revision, and then I'm gonna send it off, get test copy to read and like review and maybe give a couple copies to other people. And oh my god, you guys, I'm gonna have like a book published like really soon. I'm so excited. Yes, good things are on the horizon. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'll do a separate video because like I have been overwhelmingly happy and grateful and just feeling free, a deep sense of freedom that I've not felt before, as like a woman, as a mother, as a person, as a business owner, as all the things. Like there's just a deep sense of like love and freedom and joy and bliss. And like when I talk about living abundantly ever after, like those are the things that I desire to help other people achieve, in addition to the monetary abundance, because we need that in this world that we live in. We have to have the financial abundance as well, but that can come easily when you are happy and not like burdened or in a lack, stress mentality or mindset. So yeah, there's a lot. Like I have learned so much, and I'm grateful that I took the time away and stopped creating content. I stopped posting on Instagram. I stopped doing all the things, and so many messages like have been coming to me, and I understand more of what it is that I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm supposed to do it. And there's a lot that it is time for me to begin sharing again. So yeah, just stay tuned. I also decided that I'm not going to try and overly like produce shit. I'm just gonna show up, say what I gotta say, do what I gotta do, and be out. So it's almost like if you were to meet me in person, this is pretty much what you would get. It's me being myself. I'm not about to sit here and edit a whole bunch of videos together. I don't have the time for it. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm excited though, because it just makes it easier for me to not think like, oh, I have to have all of these things to make it. Like, no, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to share a message and help people, and the ones that get it will get it and they'll appreciate it, and the ones that don't, they're not supposed to. So, you know, it is what it is. And again, that's a part of that freedom, because I don't have to do all of that. Like, and that's something like anyone that I talk to who asks me questions about, oh, well, how did you, you know, you started a podcast and you did a business and all, do it your way. Listen to what's in here and not what not what anyone else is telling you, not what the coaches and gurus and influence. Do it your way, because what they're not telling you is that they're giving you their way, and your spirit already told you. Like my spirit told me what to do and how to do it, and everything was working great until I stopped listening to that. So make sure if you are getting wisdom or guidance, make sure that it is aligned guidance. Make sure it's someone who sees, hears, and knows what your vision is. They don't need to understand it, but they need to know what you're trying to do and support you in doing it, not tell you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. I feel like for me as a coach and a healer, like it's not my job to tell you how to live your life, right? So if you tell me you want to date Tom and Tom is a complete asshole, if you want to deal with that relationship and you understand what comes along with it, and I know that you're making this decision from a place of sound wisdom or whatever it is that you're going through, it's not my job to be like, girl, you need to leave him, like he's horrible to you. My job is to support you and say, okay, well, if he made you feel like this, then what can you do? You know what I'm saying? It's not to tell you what to do. My job is to support you in doing what you feel is best for you, because nobody's going to be done with anything until they are done with it, period. And so I just really want to see people not feeling like they can't do what they need to do, or feeling stupid because they loved someone, or feeling like they won't be successful because they're not doing what everybody else is doing. That's just not what this is about. Be yourself, do what you feel called to do, as long as you are not harming anyone or letting yourself be harmed in the process. Trust that all is well. When something is not working for you, you will know. And I think that just comes when you're self-aware. And also, too, there's a lot of, I don't know what the word I'm trying to say is. Like, I stopped consuming a lot of content. There's a lot of like internet or Google like spirituality, spiritual practices. Like there's it was a TikTok I saw. I can't think of who was it. It was either a voodoo or hoodoo practitioner that was just saying how people, they're just Googling shit or reading a book and thinking like, now I know how to do this. And that's not necessarily how it works. Like, you can gain knowledge from those things, but it takes skill, and skill comes with practice and mastery of the skill and making sure that you're doing the right things. And I remember feeling when I was starting like my spiritual journey, and even like questioning, like, why am I practicing these things? Why am I studying these things? Is this my path? And so I asked for a very specific thing to happen. I asked to be, what was my words? Well, one of the practices that they do as initiation was a baptism. So I was like, okay, if I'm supposed to follow this path, then I want to find an elder that can baptize me into this practice. And so months went by, never found a practitioner or anything like that. And one day I was out walking with my daughter. She was very adamant about taking her umbrella with her. It was a bright, sunny day. There was not a cloud in the sky, but she was like, I need my umbrella. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. It's a cute umbrella. Thank you, darling. So I'm like, whatever, let's go. And we got on our walk. And as soon as we were far enough away, it poured down, raining. And for a split second, I was like what, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm out here getting wet. Like, this was not, but then I remembered my intention to be initiated. That was the initiation. So then I'm like, okay, thank you, Spirit. Like, this is the path. And so, yeah, I don't know. Just be mindful of where you're receiving information from. I see a lot of people that look to others for spiritual guidance when the whole point is to like reconnect with yourself, your spirit, your people, your tradition, your ways. It's good to have community and to be with like minds, and to have people on the same or similar path who are maybe wiser than you, or they have different knowledge to share. But to absorb someone, like, to me, it's like the same thing as like going to church, and that never sat right with me, because I'm like, why am I putting my my eternal life, right? My what's the word they use? My salvation in this man's hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I need an intercessory to connect with source, with God, with Jesus, with whatever, deity? Like, that didn't make sense to me. So I don't know. I just think about things differently. So I feel like for me, where I am at right now, the guidance that I have received is not to seek like a lot of outside guidance or counsel. There's maybe like 5 people that I like really trust and go to for like spiritual readings, wisdom, things like that. But I'm very, very mindful about what I consume, which is part of why I hadn't been on social media. And I'm about to like switch things up on my social media so that I'm not really seeing a lot of content like that, because it doesn't right now serve a purpose for me at this moment. So yeah, that was just my little 2 cents. I am going to go now. I love you. I love you. I love you. I wish you abundant, joyous love and blessings in your life. Hopefully tomorrow I will be back with a Soulful Sunday video where I will do maybe like a reading for like general guidance for the week. Like I said, I won't be doing zodiac readings. That does not resonate for me at all, but I will come back and do like situational readings. So my plan is to do like this spiritual guidance on Sundays, Thursdays an abundance reading, and then Friday something around love, whether it's like self-love or relationships or family. Oh, and then Momspiration. So that'll be a reading specifically for single mamas because I got you, boo. All right, and if you're not a single mom, if you just vibe, if you're an ally, if you are a mother who was just in need of guidance, that reading can be for you too. Okay, mwah, I love you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know what it is that you wish to see on the channel. I don't really use the community tab a lot, so if you want to start seeing me post things there, let me know. I just want to make a beautiful home and space to share my self, my work, my magic, my medicine with you. All right.